Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Chak Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you CAMP&Sitdowns that do this thing to have most truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic is going to be entitled, Real Black Ass Niggas. Tommy G, a YouTuber, did a little docu-series, a little docu-episode on YouTube called The Hate Group. Something hate group. I think interviewing a hate group or something to that effect to black Israelites. And the camp and focus was the ISUPK. And why I'm doing this video is they kept harping on the fact that you have to be black. Your father has to be black, Negro, Latino, Native American. If not, you're going into slavery. Which is accurate, right? But what they don't harp on is that the Israelite foreigners, that you have our people who are scattered amongst these nations that have the appearance of the other nations. That's something they left out. And Captain Tazariak of the IUCPK said to the guy interviewed, by the way, the guy doing the interview, Tommy G, he's Polish, and he could be an Israelite, you know, he could be an Israelite. He told them that Bob Marley, since his father is white, Bob Marley is an Edomite. So if you think that Bob Marley is an Edomite, which I first thought when I first came in the truth, and you know, first came in the truth, but then when you grow, and I mean, you don't even have to grow that long to figure out that this thing is spiritual, and Bob Marley is of course an Israelite, you know, from his spirit. You know, he's an extremely talented, great singer. He was a Jake. You're gonna have Israelites whose fathers are white, whose fathers might look Asian, whose fathers might look East Indian. It doesn't matter. You know, we have to try their spirits. You can't just shut up the kingdom of heaven to the Israelite foreigners. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 24. It says, "And another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way." And this was actually illegal back in the time to do something like that. Wheat and tares look very identical, but they're completely different. This is referring to when we went into slavery and we were captured by our enemies. The so-called white man slept with our women, all right, and brought forth children that had the appearance of Israelites, dark skin, nappy hair, but are indeed Edomites. So we understand that you can't, first of all, Yahushua is not coming to deliver flesh. These bodies are not going to make it to the chariots. Yahushua is coming to deliver spirits. And that's what we have to deal with. We have to deal with the spirit. Okay? Yes, it's a thing by seed. We understand that. It's a thing by genealogy. But there's been a lot of mingling going on. All right? To where you cannot just de facto say based on your appearance if you're an Israelite or not. You can't do it. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Right, so you have to try spirits. You have to feel the spirit out, you know? You're not going to tell me Eminem, Justin Bieber, Elvis Presley, those are Edomites. Those are not Edomites, all right? Their spirit is very jazzy, okay? They have Jake-like tendencies, all right? And guess what? They got hit with them curses just the same. You know? Don't you know? What about the Sicilians? Don't you know the Sicilians in southern Italy? And I know this because I dealt with an Italian woman, but she was from northern Italy. And she literally told me out her own mouth that the southern Italians, she said, we got a name for them, and it's like how you guys would say nigga. Like, they make fun of them. They, you know, how they always just sitting outside listening to music like a bunch of Dominicans or some shit like that. I had no idea that was going on, but she told me that. So even though you might from the surface level think, oh, they're just both Italians. No, that's that hatred from Esau hating on Jake. Because their spirit are completely different. Them Sicilians are completely different. First of all, they could cook their ass off. They're super swaggy, all right? They got a lot of Jake tendencies in them because they're Israelites. But to just write somebody off because of the color of their skin, man, that's just so low level. You know what I mean? That's low level as fuck. Yes, the so-called white man is going to the slavery, but you have to elaborate. We say so-called because Esau is commonly called white. All right? He's commonly called white, but his pigmentation is red. You know? And he has mixed himself among the other nations just like we have. So we understand that you're going to have Israelites that look like Edomites, and you're going to have Edomites that look like Israelites. They omit that part. They harping on the fact that it's some real, they have shirts that say real ass nigga and try to justify that nigga mean black and, you know, it's a good thing. And nah, you guys are niggards, okay? Fuck it. No man, you guys are a bunch of real black ass niggas. Blacked out, black shades, everything's dark. All right? Let some light into your body, man. All them dark ass colors. Anyways, Acts 10 and 13. And there came a voice to him, that voice to who? To Peter. Rise, Peter, kill and eat. Because I'm just jumping straight down to the point. Peter saw a bunch of unclean animals descend out of heaven right in front of him, and he was told to eat. But Peter said, verse 14, but Peter said, not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. So he saw unclean animals and he was told to eat. And again, this is a vision. And he's saying, nah, man. Now, these bugged out, wacky-tacky Christians will take this scripture literal and say this is, you know, why we can eat pork now and shit like that. No, it's not talking about that. It says 15, and the voice spake unto him again, the second time, what the Most High has cleansed, that call not thou common. Right. It says, and this, and this was done thrice. And the vessel was received up again into heaven. And it was a dream letting him know that Cornelius of the Italian band, okay, meaning he was a Roman centurion, fully into that Roman culture, but still believed in the Most High, had faith, should be accepted as an Israelite. Okay? You see, you have the natural Gentiles and the unnatural Gentiles. The natural Gentiles are the 17 nations. The unnatural Gentiles are the Israelites that have the appearance or practicing the customs of the other 17 nations, man. It's quite easy to understand if the Most High opens your eyes to it, but Romans 9 and 6 tells us that not all Israel is of Israel. And I'm going to say something. This has been going on for a very long time. And the understanding that Israelites are scattered amongst the nations is something that has been understood before in a very long time. I'm going to bring out an account going to the book of Judith. But before I read the book of Judith, I'm going to read this. Deuteronomy 20 and 3. Deuteronomy 23 and 3. It says, an Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Right? So an Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation, right? Now, in the book of Judith, okay, there's an individual by the name of Achior, okay? Achior the Ammonite, who was warning, I think his name was, man, I forgot his name. He was warning a particular general that wanted to destroy the Israelites, okay? In fact, verse 5, I'm going to read Judith 14 and 5 so we can know that he's an Ammonite. It says, before ye do these things, call me Achior the Ammonite, that ye may see and know him that despised of the house of Israel, and that sent him to us as it were to his death. So we know that Achior is being called a Ammonite. Okay, verse 6 says, then they called Achior out of the house of Ozias, and when he was come and saw the head of Holofernes, that was the guy that was trying to take Israel, but Judith with her beauty supplanted him and chopped his head off. In a man's hand, in the assembly of the people, he fell down on his face, and his spirit failed. And by the way, Achior was warning that individual about our power, okay? But when they recovered him, he fell at Judith's feet and reverenced her, and said, Blessed art thou in all the tabernacle of Judah and in all nations, which hearing thy name shall be astonished. Now therefore tell me the things that thou hast done in these days. Then Judith declared unto him in the midst of the people all that she had done from the day that she went forth until that hour she spake unto them. 9. And when she had left off speaking, the people shouted with a loud voice and made a joyful noise in their city. Now hear this part now, verse 10. And when Achior had seen all that the Most High of Israel had done, he believed in the Most High greatly, and circumcised the flesh of his foreskin, and was joined unto the house of Israel unto this day. So wait a minute now. It is in our law that an Ammonite or a Moabite cannot enter the congregation, but Achior was circumcised and joined unto the house of the Lord. Was Achior a Ammonite? Right? And they were in the spirit that you guys were. You know, I don't know if at that time Ammon was still dark-skinned. I'm not too sure, I can't confirm. But if they were in the spirit where you were, Achior would have joined the house, right? So that's a real good question for you guys. Is Achior a heathen? Achior is not a heathen, okay? Achior was an Israelite, okay? Achior was an Israelite. Believed in the Most High, joined onto the house of Israel, got himself circumcised, okay? He was an Israelite. So even back in those times, they understood that our people scattered and mingled amongst the other nation, and it was not impossible for them, okay, to fully adopt the customs of another nation, even take on the title of another nation. So I hope you real black ass niggas at the ISUPK understand that. Now I'm just joking, because I know you have the elect in there. I know you have sincere brothers in there. So I hope, you know, them sincere brothers, and I know, you know, they will, you know, eventually wake up. The elect amongst all these different camps that are speaking contrary to what we're teaching, they're going to come back to the Heavenly Father and get the right doctrine anyways. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rachakodash. That belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to Sadakim that do this thing now, most truth and sincerity. Shalom.